So we looked at the books, and like I said, there was one book that stood out amongst all of them. Like the other ones weren't like even an option for us. So we had one book, and we were hoping that when we met them in person, that they were going to be, we would feel that connection to them in person that we did with their book. And when we met them in person, we loved them. And then we met with them a few more times before we officially decided to match with them. But they were the only couple that we met with. We were so lucky to have made that connection just so strong. Did you want to say something?
Well, I wanted to say something about the books themselves, but it's not exactly like related directly to the question. So I don't know if is that okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when we were looking through the books, something that we could really notice right away was a lot of them were trying to. It was almost like a presentation, like they were trying to be like, "This is me," and this is, and it's like, okay, but what about like on a bad day? Like what's it like then?
Right.
And I think that when making those profiles, I just want to encourage people to try and be genuine. And honest, and something that we saw that really stuck out to us too was their like sense of humor in it. They weren't like taking themselves too seriously, and I think when people are looking through those books, they're looking for honesty, and I think that the more honest you can be in those books, the better, because then it's not so jarring when something happens and it's like, wait, I thought you were like this absolutely perfect person who never messes up ever, and then it just causes a lot more problems down the road. I think.
It just seemed like everyone, like all the other books we saw were like, it was very like, and here's my house that's perfect, and then here's this, and like here's a picture from our wedding, and here's this, and like the couple we went with was like, they had like the most ridiculous silly photos of like what, like dressing up with like their nieces and nephews and like posing with statues, and it was just humor, and it made it feel like they were real people instead of just like reading a book about like, oh, these are all the same people, they have the same house, and they, it was like they were real people. We could connect with them. And I think the one thing for me that like really grabbed me was they were one of the few people who they wrote a letter in it to the birth mother, and it meant so much to me. Like they were just like, I just want you to know, birth mother, like we're thinking of you, we're praying for you, and it like literally to know that someone who I had never met was thinking about that, and it wasn't just about them. I was like, these are the people who I want. And yeah, and they mentioned Jesus Christ, which was huge for us. And they did, it wasn't just about them. Like they were thinking about us, praying for us. And I was like, you don't even know me. But it touched me so much that they made it personalized like that. So that was definitely something that grabbed me. And I was like, I need to meet these people. And yeah, they were the only ones we met with, and they were amazing.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to add, I mean, that isn't always the case, just from my experience.
Right.
Usually they'll narrow the profiles down, and then meet like probably 2 to 3 families, on an average. Everybody's different though.
Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Looking at the profiles, kind of piggybacking on what Megan and TJ were saying too. I had the similar experience going through, and some of them, it was just like, you want to see some fun things. Like I remember the one picture that stood out was her mom was swinging on a tire swing. Just something silly, and it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but you're not like, and then they had a picture of their family, this is, we're cooking with whatever, and it was nice to see that extended part. But the other thing that I liked with one of the profiles that I had picked was they had a page, I don't know if this is mandatory or not, but it was likes, dislikes, their occupation, their favorite colors, their favorite vegetable, what vegetable they don't like. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. But as on the flip side of things, I could look at the adoptive parents and go, wow, you're human. Oh, you have likes and dislikes. I can relate. I do too. And that was one of the reasons why I picked them as the first to meet, because I remember going through and thinking, wow, they like green. I like green. Okay. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it makes you more relatable.